Hello everyone, how are you all doing? I hope all of you are doing good. So today we have Sunny with us who is currently pursuing his masters in big data technology at Glasgow University in UK. So today I will be calling him and I will be asking about his journey, how he's doing, and the scope of doing masters in UK. What is the good GRE score for getting good colleges in UK and the effect on jobs for international students after Brexit and a lot more things. Okay, so without any further ado, let's get started. Thanks, Sunny, for joining the call. So it would be better if you could introduce yourself, like where did you do your schooling and the graduation, and which part of India you come from.
Thank you, Shiv, for having me. Uh, I did my schooling from a town in UP called Muradabad. I did my schooling there. Then I moved to the NCR region to complete my undergrad in mechanical engineering. Uh, from that college itself, I got placed at Infosys, where I worked for around 3 years. And then I decided to come here for my graduation in big data technologies.
Okay, so being a mechanical engineer, what drive you to choose big data technology for your masters? Why didn't you get into that mechanical field?
So I did apply for mechanic masters in mechanical engineering and big data technologies in the same university. Later on, I decided to pursue big data technologies uh, uh, because of the future that it holds as compared to mechanical engineering. That's one. And the other thing is, if we look at the scope for jobs in India, we know that computer science or IT industry in general is major ahead of the mechanical field. So if I plan to come back to India, I should have a skill set that can land a job in India for me. So that's why I went ahead with big data technologies.
Okay, so do you think that being a mechanical engineer, if someone wants to pursue big data technology or any computer related subjects, so they should have a good programming skills or anything like that?
As far as I can see, I don't think so because mostly in big data technologies, people are working with tools and they're analyzing the data mostly. So a basic knowledge of Python is, I think, it's good to have, but it's not mandatory. You can learn along the course. I have a few people here who don't know Python, and but they will learn it when the course will go ahead. So usually they'll teach you whatever is necessary for the course, and you should have a general knowledge of programming though. Uh, you should not be an expert, but you should have a general idea about it, and the rest can be taught in the course itself. Yeah.
Okay, so basic programming skills is required. Like you should have some basic knowledge of programming so that you can get along with the course once you
Yes.
go for the masters.
Yes, basic programming and basic database skills as well.
Okay,
These two things should be known.
okay. So what was your GRE score, Sunny?
I scored 318 in my GRE. I gave my GRE exam in 2016, December 2016, and it's valid for 5 years. Yeah, so it was 318.
Okay, so do you think that GRE or GMAT score plays a crucial role for getting the college across the world?
It does in case for US and Canada. For US and Canada, it is mandatory to have GRE score for most of the universities. But for the rest of the world, they don't necessarily require GRE. So if you are applying for entire Europe, Australia, New Zealand, UK, then its GRE is not as such mandatory. It depends on what you have written in your statement of purpose and your background, your work experience. All these things combined are more important as compared to your GRE score if we are talking about the rest of the world. But yes, for US and Canada, it's must. You should have a good GRE score.
Okay. So what is the duration of your course and how many years of work permit you will get after completing your masters over there?
Yeah, so generally there are two intakes in UK. As far as I know, I'm not an expert on that. It depends on course to course and colleges to colleges. So usually it's a Jan intake or a September intake. So if you're coming for masters in September intake, it's a 12 months course. While if you come in Jan intake, it's a 16-month course. Same thing, but duration changes. As if you come in Jan intake, you get 4 months of summer break, which is not there in your September intake.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what?
So as in, so suppose someone came in September intake, he will have 3 trimesters from September to January, then January to May, I guess, and then June to next September. This so that's 3 trimesters. 2 trimesters are for studying, and the third one is for your thesis research, whatever has to be done. So, but if a person comes in Jan intake, its first trimester will be from Jan to May. Then he'll have a summer break from this June to September. And then the next 2 trimesters are September to January, and then again Jan to May. So this is how it goes for 2 intakes.
Okay. So
Yeah.
what is the tuition fee and if someone wants to get a scholarship there, so what is the procedure for that?
Usually, there are a few websites online that give an overview of the scholarship available for in UK especially. They have scholarships for Indian students. But if someone really wants to apply for the scholarship, the best place is to go to the university's website and look for scholarships. They will give you the clear understanding of what all scholarships are present for that university. So instead of juggling around here and there, one should go to the university website and look out for scholarships. And there are pretty good scholarships available.
Okay.
Yeah. You asked about tuition fees also. So tuition fees generally is around say 20 lakhs for some major universities. That's the obvious thing. 20,000 pounds. They go around like this. And for other universities, some smaller universities, it is around say 10 to 15,000 pounds. So that would be around 10 to 15 lakh rupees. So the bracket would be, I'll say, from 10,000 to 20,000. 10,000 being the lowest and 20,000 being the highest. This is, yeah, generally, this is the idea.
Okay. So Sunny, what do you think the quality of education which you are getting there as compared to Indian universities? So how it is different from that Indian universities?
The major, uh, the major difference that I saw was the sessions are more interactive here. So when I was studying my undergraduation, the professor would just come and teach the topic and then leave. That's what usually happened. But here, I think it's more interactive sessions. The tutor will teach it and then come to you and ask you if you're able to get it, help you with if you're stuck somewhere. So that kind of thing is there. Also, uh, they focus more on your research abilities. So they'll give you one topic and ask you to research on this and uh, give give a report on that. Yeah, so that's how they do work here. And one thing that is entirely different here is the plagiarism. They take it very seriously. So you cannot just copy paste your answers from Google. You have to do your research. You have to read the research papers from different websites, IEEE, get all those things and write it in your own words. It's not just a simple copy and paste it and you're done with your assignments. So if you are copy pasting, then they'll just simply mark it zero and may take other actions on you. So more, so I would say here it is more research based instead of just learning the formulas and giving the exams.
Okay. So Sunny, what is the placement scenario there?
Placements. Usually what happens with our universities was like in Indian universities is companies come to you during a particular time and they recruit the students for placements. Here they don't have such things. No company will come to your university and say start a placement drive. So that's not here. They do have some placement fairs organized some in some part of the city where students will go and ask for placements. But one thing is that they do have a official website where they'll post uh, all the job vacancies that are there. So you can just go to the website and see what all jobs are available. So you have to apply it on your own. The college can only direct you in one direction through their website. So, for example, I did an internship recently, so that I got from my university website itself, and university was funding that particular startup. So, I that internship was for only for my university students. So that's how I got my internship there. So university will help you, but it's not the criteria is different. Instead of asking company to come to campuses, they just simply put out the information on their website. You can go there and look out for opportunities.
Okay. So Sunny, you will be aware that United Kingdom UK left the EU on 31st January 2020. And right
Yeah.
now, UK is in transit, 11th month transit period after that. So we can say that it's in
Yeah.
transit period right now. So once it completes the transition period, so what will the impact on job for international students who are studying there as UK left the European Union?
Okay. Yeah. In this case, I think I might not be able the best person to answer this. If someone really wants to know this, they can consult some consultancy who have a particular license for that. But one thing I can say over here is, so recently they have announced a scheme for 2 years work permit for students after they complete the graduation. So looking at that, I think they might need more international students as EU is separated from UK. So and so this moves indicates that maybe there will be a surge in the demand for international students because they have come up with 2 years work visa, post study work visa. Before that it was only 4 months, so now it has been increased from 4 months to 2 years. So looking at that, I think uh, there will be more opportunities for international students in UK.
Okay.
Yeah.
So apart from that, do you have any suggestions for the students who are like trying to come, like trying for pursuing master there in UK, and how they should select the universities there?
Yeah, UK in terms of universities, I think UK is one of the best place to be because you take any universities here from any city, they will be among top 100, 200, 500. Those universities will be there in the university ranking. So in terms of research and education, I think this is one of the best place to be. And so, so what's the criteria for searching the universities? One has to look. First thing is you have to look for the course, which course you want to pursue, and then you have to go to search for the university. And usually, when I was searching for my universities, I had two things in mind. It should be good in ranking, and the other one is the tuition fees should not be too much. Too much, yeah. So that's why I selected this particular university. The tuition fees was okay, and uh, and the course was also good. I consulted a few students that were already here in this universities, and I asked them what is the course, what are the opportunities here. So I got a good feedback from them. So these were my steps that I did before coming to this university.
Okay. So thank you, Sunny, for joining the call and sharing the valuable information with all of us.
Thank you, Shiv. Thank you for having me.
Thank you all for watching this video. If you like the video, please give a thumbs up and subscribe the channel. Till then, stay safe, stay healthy. I will see you all in my next video.